What's up, Metal Summoners? We're right back at you again. You're at M3. You got the whole Metal Summit rocking out, doing pictures, doing interviews, and hanging with our mates. Angel Alamo, Psycho Steve, Empress, Flock and Trayer, and I'm Jay. And we're being joined by a good man, good friend, and we are really, really excited. The lead next, Mr. Steve Blaze. How are you, brother? Great to see you.
Nice to see you guys again.
Absolutely. My namesake. Absolutely, for sure. So, dude, M3, you guys just came off the stage and also just finished your meet and greet with the fans and stuff like that. So, first and foremost, how was the set? How was the feel? And how was it been getting out after the blackout?
I thought that it was, these festivals like this are so well run. This is the first time in 40 years that I've actually been on a stage that revolved. So, I've seen and heard about it in stories, but it was very well done. The crew is fantastic. This whole crew here at M3 has been top notch. So while Enough's Enough is playing on one side, there's a curtain separating us, we're on the other side setting up in Super Chicken. So if you can imagine 10 minutes between bands, that's kind of unheard of. Yeah, but very well. I thought the reception was great. I couldn't have asked for anything better. And it's nice and cold, and I love cold weather. Everybody else is complaining, but I like it. So I didn't even notice it. I just saw a lot of great fans out there, and it was fun.
Absolutely.
It's like it from the stage point of view, you get to see protrusions.
I have a feeling that this is going to be that kind of innuendo of the whole.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Says the guy with the longest leg.
The longest leg, for sure. It just extends when it's necessary.
Oh, there you go.
So let's talk a little bit about, you do have the new album coming up, but the anthology literally just came out.
Yesterday.
Yes. So
it's called Songs for Eternity, and it's Todd Schmidt, my co-host on the podcast I was telling you about. He did all the artwork for it.
Love and More.
There you go. And we have 3 CDs on it. I wanted to kind of do it a little bit differently. I had the mindset of, if something happened in 1,000 years, there was a time capsule, what would be something that would be indicative, kind of in a macroscopic view of what the band gave the world, right? So we did 3 CDs. The first one's called Earth, and then Sky, and then Sea. So the first one is a collection. Now we have 9 studio records, and so you have 9 tracks and 1 bonus, and it's 1 song from each album that either was a single or is maybe the best known rock song or heavy song from that album. Like Misery Loves Company, True Believer, Show Me Love. But we started it, instead of going chronologically earlier to later, I flipped it. So the most recent album, which was Days Before Tomorrow, Death Comes Tomorrow, Days Before Yesterday. Wait, Days Before Tomorrow, I don't even know the album. The song is Death Comes Tomorrow. That's the first one, and it goes all the way back to the first album, and the track Misery Loves Company. The second CD, which is called Sky, is kind of a deep track, something that I felt was maybe not a single, but very popular with fans. I Stop the Hate, The Great Divide, All Strand Love and War, etc. And then the third is a takeoff on an idea I had a long time. I wanted to do an all ballad album. So I wanted to see how people would react to having an album all of our ballads, usually a lot of ballads, but just to listen to that record and put it in a different mindset from top to side. So the third CD is 1 ballad from each of the albums. And then the bonus track is a ballad that we did a couple years ago with East on its own. So it's a nice set of cover artwork, as you guys saw behind us on the screen.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. It's this obelisk out in the middle of a purple planet, stars, a moon, and all of our album covers are actually this obelisk. And today, the thing we created today was a moving version. So you saw the stars, everything moving. Our guy that did the album cover created that with the moving water and everything. So
Very
it's like a moving album cover.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So that's what the new record comes out in about 3 months, beginning of August. From Moon to Tune, and at the risk of overselling it, is by far the most epic thing we've ever done.
Absolutely. And so before I kick it around, because thinking about the Songs anthology, the way you were describing it, I have to take The Metal Summoners back on this little journey take us back to one of our early interviews that revolved around One Night in the Temple. Because I gotta tell you, Steve, like, you put genuinely a shit ton of thought into these projects, these albums, and things like that, where you have this album for fans that are unfamiliar, where it's almost like a campfire hang, very intimate. And you did the album, you did the DVD for that. So let me just kind of focus on that real quick. The idea of like you broke down songs and then taking it back to Temple. Like, what is it in your brain that makes you really care about that kind of experiences so much?
It's a small bug. There's somewhere. It won't stop moving. Actually, that album, One Night in the Temple, started off, like you said, I had an idea, wouldn't it be cool just be stripped down? And we're sitting at like a campfire, and it's just the band hanging out. I don't care if our drummer's hitting on a stick or, you know, whatever, but just break the songs down with some people and just play the songs you're in. But of course, I never let those things just sit like that. The next thing is, what if we do this? And I spent about 3 months of this evolution thing. I look at it like this every single time I put something out. It's got to be epic. It's got to be something, yeah, even if it had been one small thing, it's still epic in nature. But this thing kept growing, so I said, wait a minute, I want the whole band to be performing. So let's do an acoustic set. But not just, like a beatbox. Let's just get an acoustic drum kit. And we'll play all acoustic guitars and acoustic bass and whatnot. And we'll do these songs, and not only does it show the band actually playing, because we don't track and we play our instruments. If we can't play something on the record, we find another way to perform it, at beats or whatever. So we don't do that, and I want people to just get into the songs. I always felt like there's songs that we have, like When It Rains, and I was like, Elton John from that song. I mean, you hear other people. To me, a great song is a great song. I feel like I could take a Dolly Parton song and make it still sound like Dolly Parton, the way that's touched. It would be a great song because it's a incredible song. That's a good one.
You love
Stop.
Do I like Dolly? Do I love
I
Dolly?
thought you were going to show his boobs or something.
Kind of. All my tests from my mom says, almost like love.
Really?
So it's from my mom. It's good.
Well, it's good to meet her. Tell her.
We're working on that.
Are you?
I did an interview for her book signing, and she did it with James Patterson. Run Rose Hahn. It's just me out.
She's a class act.
But I got a flying minute because Mr. Floyd's jumping on stage with Kevin and said, "Do you mind if I do this thing?"
No, absolutely.
So I noticed, look, I've seen all your clips you play. I love my guitars and everything. So I'm going to ask you this, and here we go with the innuendos. What's your favorite woodwind?
Both do. Told you, we're gonna start drinking, we go
My
down.
favorite one is, I have so many favorite ones. I'll tell you the one that I have.
That's usually mine.
Well, here's the deal. I have my own signature pickup.
Yes.
Called Blaze Butter. The company's called Carondelet Pickups, are out of Baton Rouge. And I have that in my Charvel that I was playing tonight and in my Strictly 7. But I really like the 2 new Charvels that I got. The funny part about it is, I bought them off the wall. We talk about shopping in music stores. I was like, Charvel's put something out because I had everything. Because my signature one, which you'll see in one of the panels on Songs for Eternity, is my white Charvel, and I was in the Dream of Life. I mean, that was kind of the one I played for many years, kind of the one people knew me from back then playing, right? So whenever I see Charvels, I'm like, let me check it out. Grabbed it off the wall. All right, it's perfect. How much? Cut me a deal. And they have a yellow and black one. Cut me a deal on 2. Next thing you know, I'm buying both of them. That has been the one that's been my go-to.
And I gotta ask you real quick, so you're a big locking trend, because I don't want to use that certain word. A good friend, probably ours, and I think you might do some of your work, Mr. Henry for FE-10. Does
I know his name,
but
No, I've never worked with him, but I know him. The guy that does all my stuff is Jeff Risha. He's in Baton Rouge. He actually was licensed to take a guy that owns Raising Kings bought Johnny Cash's black guitar, and the bridge was broken. they hired him to replicate that black bridge. And so that's how good Jeff is. And he's the one that he and I created my police department pickup. He's amazing. And so I got to hold the original Johnny Cash pickup. That was worth it. And that's like 50 years of Johnny
You got the
Cash
whole
sweat.
Chinese voice. It just flies out. I don't know. And I didn't even have a drink. It just sticks out.
I mean, if we don't. But, yeah, I have to go there.
That's amusing. Well,
Have a good
I
one.
gotta go down, so you back, have summers, love you. You know, these guys are making me work faster than, you know, a ugly hooker at a.
Oh, geez.
Okay, a good one.
Yeah.
Before we get over to the guys, I'll get you back to the conversation we were having about
Right.
songs and tell
Okay.
me just if there was any parts of that you wanted to, yeah, that you wanted to.
So, all right, so I decided, let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's bring the whole band into place, basically. And we'll do, you know, songs from all the records. And then we decided, you know, let's make it one step bigger. Let's do a contest and have people from all over the country win the opportunity to come in. So we did it in the studio, where we recorded, which was an old Masonic temple, hence One Night in the Temple. And it's a big, big outdoor area, bigger than this room, high ceilings. The Masons still have their meetings once a week.
Really?
So you can't record on Tuesday because they're upstairs going, hey, you know, like, that weird stuff. Burying people alive and stuff like that. And so we set up a semi-circle with about 100 chairs. We run a contest. Whoever has the most Million Acts swag, send your picture in, you can take it. So we get all these people sending it. We pick 60 people plus friends and family. We got about 100 people, and I'm like, shoot, let's make a documentary out of this. Okay, so we're gonna do a documentary out of the preparation, during the show, the rehearsals, everything. 2.5 hours long. What else can I do? Let's cater it. Oh, okay. So let's do a meet and greet. Let's do a question and answer. Let's invite Johnny Vines, our old singer from when we first started the band. Let's get a violin player to come up and do the damn ritual. And then I wrote a song called Allow Your Head about a little boy that passed away when he was really young from that area of this rare disease. I invited his family to let him know that we wrote the song about him, and they were very emotionally appreciative. Invited them to sit on a couch, like on the side of the stage, and dedicate the song to him. So that's all in there. Guest singers, violin players. So we do an hour-long Q&A. We go out there, and everybody gets to ask questions. So they ask all these questions, and we talk to them. We go back 15 minutes later, come out and do 1 hour set. We take a break. We cater it with like Creole or Thai food. Go back to another set, and we do a meeting. 4 hours or so, 5 hour long thing. And there were people in tears, crying, we let the audience sing, nobody knows this. It came out, so I mean, after the end of it, I said, that's probably the single most amazing thing we were. The editing, the mixing, everything came out so well, and it was perfectly captured. And so One Night in the Temple, it's 2 CDs of the acoustic show, and then a full documentary. Artwork's great on it and stuff, so it was very, it was a big thing that came out so well, so, yeah, so don't ask me to do something simple, because it never works out.
There you go, and just like the songs, it's not a simple greatest hits album. It's like, no, Steve's gotta make it the biggest, the baddest, and the
Gotta
most
complicate it.
gotta make it the most worth it, absolutely, for sure. Let's go to Namesake. Steve.
Hey, so my question is, who is Lillian and how did Lillian actually came about the name?
Okay, we were called Oz, OZ at first, right?
Okay.
We had a manager that wanted to, it was just, he was involved in some bad stuff, that's all I'm saying. He's dead and gone, so, kind of betrayed our trust. And, we said, we gotta make a break. The guy gone and copyrighted the name under his name and stuff. So I'm coming back, going to my singer's house at the time, this is 82, early 83, and I had just seen Creepshow, Stephen King movie.
Yeah, yeah.
And there was one scene in there with his bridesmaid skeleton flew into the boys' window at the beginning. And I was like, man, this is creepy, old, scary, because we always had this creepy paranormal edge of what the band was about, so I wanted that to come out. So, Lillian, that's a creepy. Lillian Axe. I was like, that's it. And I remember where I was on Veterans Highway, turning left to go to my singer's apartment. And I knocked on the door and said, you know, we'll be trying to film the new name. He goes, yeah, it's going to be Lillian Axe. Hope you like it. Man, that's great. I love it. It was that quick.
That's awesome.
So Lillian actually just kind of became like this. I'll tell you, we never did an actual mascot.
Right.
But we have somebody working on it now. It's like after all these years, we've never had the quintessential mascot.
Yeah, like who is
So-
Lillian?
The closest thing we ever came was a cover of Poetic Justice, but she was way too nice. So
Right.
Lillian's kind of this invisible female Viking warrior, immortal character looking out for the fan. You know? So we have somebody actually coming up. We're going to present a real Lillian mascot from our city.
That's awesome.
Right on.
Angel, it's all you, my guy.
I just want to congratulate you on getting inducted to the Louisiana Music Hall
Thank
of
you,
Fame.
man. I appreciate that.
Just, I mean, you do music because we love music,
Yeah.
but when that happens, but when it comes to when people somebody wants to recognize you for it, how does that make you feel?
Well-
Being inducted twice, because you was inducted,
Right.
but Lillian actually as a solo artist.
Yes. So we got inducted in 2010 for the band, Lillian Axe. And then last year they inducted me for guitarist, solo, right? So I even got the ring, man. I got a ring. It's cool, man. Because I don't know if there's any other two-time inductees. So, you know, I've informed all my family and friends when you introduce me as a two-time inductee.
There you go.
That's why I had to say.
I'm kidding.
So I can't call you my
See, even the watch is
Even
going.
our watches talk to me. Here I found Steve Williams, you're full of shit. No, but it really is one of those things because, you know, in this business, you guys know, man, you pretend that you try to block out negativity, but you don't. You never do. You just got to learn very quick, right? So we'll get 100 great reviews on something, and one person will say, I don't like it, and then you worry about that, right? So that's just part of human nature, the human condition is to, you want to make people happy, right? So when that occurred, it was like, I kind of felt like all these years and years of just ups and downs and, you know, fighting and all that kind of stuff. And you guys have achieved something that they can never take away, right? So then I got inducted solo. That was equally as, I was humbled by that. You know, we got the Jackson, Mississippi Music Icon Award, which is cool and weird because it's like 30 years of musical contributions to the state of Mississippi. And I'm like, we're that old?
Do you have to tell everyone?
We're like,
So you were one when you started, that's what you
we're
did.
like, we're cool hairstyle or something. 30 years ago. That we're old, right? Yes. Yeah, we did start when I was 3, so that makes sense. But those are the things that you honestly sit down and jokingly say, I could die tomorrow, and at least I know that I am, you know, it's an accomplishment. Because those things are, you know, it's different between that and, you know, winning the Artist of the Month award. This is something for somebody honoring you for your contributions for a long period of time. So, it was great. Very happy.
You have to look at it, good or bad, and still talk about it.
That's it. That is true, too. You're right.
I tell everybody that, I said,
Anyway, I was working from home, no, still talking about
I don't care.
So one thing I found to be a very kind of cool and interesting question that we've moved into a lot of episodes for our guests, you know, for the most recent time. Looking back over the blackout and everything that was kind of lost when 2020 happened, when you look at how did Lillian Axe do communication-wise? And what I mean by that is how did you guys do with your communication, like not being able to tour, maybe not being limited time in the room at all, rehearsals? Did the communication strengthen? Were there parts that maybe even got weaker? or issues maybe that you had to fix because all of a sudden you have to talk or communicate or in ways that you never used to because you could go to each other's houses or you're going to be torn consistently. When you look back at the blackout, how was just the communication and the strength of Lillian Axe? What did you see or what did you notice?
Okay, so 2 months before, 3 months actually, what COVID hit, like March or like 20, right? So in December, I got sick. I went to the doctor. They said, you have bronchial infection and what was the other thing I had? I had 2 major, so I couldn't stop coughing, right? So coughing, it wasn't pneumonia, it was, they told me that it was some kind of flu or whatever I had. But it stayed with me for like 3 months. I went to the emergency, we went to Disney 4 weeks after, like my wife and son and I went to Disney when they opened up the Star Wars park. While I'm there, the other family who were there, 5 of these 7 of us or 6 of them got real sick. The dad of the other family and I had to go to the emergency room in New Year's Eve. In Orlando, like Disney. Everybody was sick, coughing, the weather's bad, but there was a Star Wars. So I get home the day after I get back after the emergency room again. They tell me that I had, what's that flu that came out in 2009? And then it was flu. No, it was, gosh, I can't believe it. Swine flu? Swine flu, right? So, it's like 6 weeks, I can't stop coughing, I'm sick as a dog. We're still doing shows, right? I'm literally, I have fans praying with me when I come off stage because I'm about to die. I'm like, can't let this get me down. So they say I've got this. It lasts up until right when they announced the doctor said you are the first person to come back from Disney and in Louisiana that happens. I know that's probably what it was. I was really bad off. Like the week my doctor said it doesn't get better with attending the pulmonologist. All of a sudden it's going to get better. And so right at that time is right when we were making change in the new focus.
Right.
Prior Civil Brian turned into our agent, and it was just time to bring somebody. So Brent came. So we got COVID, finally feeling better. We immediately started doing these, we call it Live from the Man Cave. In my man cave, my garage man cave, we went on every week for months, did acoustic shows for like 2 hours. Not 2 songs, 2 hours. We were doing Silent and Dark Humble, you know, Tears for Fears and Lillian Axe, all that stuff. And we would get hundreds of people out there. Even to this day, oh man, I miss those. So we stayed at Joey's house. Yes, I would do that if I had the ability to do that. That would be fantastic. So we kept on that, we stayed on, and we let everybody know what was going on. We started recording. Wow, it's been 2 years on this new record. So then when things started opening, we did a streaming thing. I can't remember the venue, what it was. We did a live streaming thing. First time we went play with us. And it was on stage, something like that. But it was one of these formats that does live streaming. And we spent a lot of time together, we had light show, everything, and we're playing in a room like this, just live to cameras. And then we went over fantastic too, just literally back out. So we used the time to stay in touch with fans, work on the new record, let us see what was going on, one of the little pieces here and there, and just didn't go away. We let them know, hey, these are the new things from them, sign the new deal. So we've always been in communication with our fans that way. Even if there's always something to talk to them. And if nothing, I started doing live videos where I was just giving people some optimistic things to look at in life, especially with all the BS that's been going on with our so-called leaders over the last couple of years. I'm telling people, you know, look, we got a higher leader than these companies. We got more about that leader right there. So I was getting a lot of people that were, you know, how we went from new music, but they're like, man, thanks for your good work. Because we all go through the same things. It doesn't matter on different levels. Everybody's going through good, bad, rough times. We all are. It's how you view it, how you compartmentalize it, it's how you react to it, is where you're going to move forward. So that was a way that we were able to stay in touch. Now things are starting to open more. And as you can tell, we are hands-on. I love, like, timing things out there. I sit there for 5 hours and do it. I like meeting people. I like that feeling of, you know, these people are just making me feel good. Making me happy, you know? And if we can do that, which we have over years and years in those ways, that's to me, my calling is, I'm happy with it.
Absolutely. So your communication amongst the band was just strong the whole time. It's just a matter of.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because we definitely have a couple of guests that would just be like, no, we definitely, you know, there were frustrations. We realized, you know, this guy's a bad texter or doesn't communicate as well, because it never used to be as much of a thing when you're in the bus always around each other. So it's easier.
Right.
So yeah, so we've always found that to just be a really interesting question to kind of ask the artists about how they really dealt with that, not being able to see their mates
Yeah.
for such an extended time.
We
When there's
kinda close.
when there's work to be done.
Yeah, we live kind of close, and we're all very close. I got an incredible group of guys in this band. And that's the thing, we've been together, and some of us, Michael, bass player, and I've been together. He was here for a while, and he left for a while, he came back. And then Sam's been in the band since 99, 24 years. You know, no, that sounds crazy, because he looks like he's like 25 years old, but, yeah, it's a testament to the quality of individuals that we have. Excellent.
It shows about you too, though.
I'm all right. These guys are much cooler than me.
Chief, so what is next for you guys, since Blackout is kind of, like, there's some light at the end of the tunnel, as they say. We know this album just came out on Friday. The new release here, just right now, almost finished done with the new album. And then can we expect you guys going on the road again? Like,
Yeah, we've got, as a matter of fact, the agent called yesterday, and he's like, oh, we're gonna do this show here, and we're trying to be smart about it. I'm not gonna put the band out, beating up the clubs and the theaters for 9 months and physically, you know, tearing people up. Your family is important, your health is important, you gotta do it smart. That's why we're picking shows, like I got a call yesterday, hey, we're gonna do this show in the convention center in Jackson, looks like it's gonna be us. 38 special and driving and crying. I mean, that's what I'm told.
Wow.
And then, hey, we got the sports and show coming up. You might be doing that. And I'm like, oh, you know, I'm maybe not supposed to say anything, but it doesn't matter. That's what it said. So we're like taking these good shows. We have a couple more festivals in Monsters on the Mountain.
nice.
Then one called Rocktember. And then the week that the new album comes out, we do Monsters on the Mountain on Friday, and then the next day we fly to the UK. We do 7 days in a row in the UK. First time we've been there in a long 10 years.
Wow.
So we're thrilled about that. So just trying to be smart about it. In the meantime, guess what else I have to do?
Being in
Next record.
No, okay.
Yeah, of course, I'm dead.
Yeah,
That's
super husband, super dad.
Oh, yeah. Look, let me tell you something. People that know me are like, I don't know how you do that. I say, it's time management.
Right.
There's never a second that goes by that's being unused for something.
Right, so to tie in the question I asked before we started filming, about, like, does your kid think you're cool? Like, does he listen to Lillian X? Is he a fan?
My son's cool. He's much cooler than anybody that I know. He just turned 13. He's got
No pencils, mustache.
it's not a person, but it has more like a Sharpie. It's coming in really nicely.
Right?
And I'm like, look, man, he did a growth spurt. Right? When he was little, doctor said he's going to be 6'3", 6'4", get taller. So I got a 6'2" brother. My brother Craig used to be the drummer in Black Label Society.
Really?
Craig Newman. Oh, Craig Newman, yeah.
Wow.
Right.
I think you were a chapter member, I just didn't know the connection.
Yeah, he was the drummer for
Yeah,
Mojo
yeah.
Records and continues, but he's retired. But he's tall, so they said he's gonna be taller than Greg. So he's always been like normal height. Last year, he grew like 3 shoe sizes over a few months. It's 5'6", 121, and the boys go, hey, Dad, dude.
Yeah, exactly, my son's the same way. He's like, my dad, how are you? I'm like, my dad, I'm okay.
Look, like a year ago, I'm looking at videos in the podcast where he makes his guest appearance. He's like, okay, Dad, what do you think? And now, hey,
Yeah, it's just like Barry White, right?
And so, but to answer your question, you know, every time we go out and meet people, you know, and when I'm out in public, I'll see people who you come up and talk. And then one day, it's just, you're out in public, and these people were fans, so never even thought for a second they were going to leave you today. And I said, "Man, that's good." He goes, "Just so nice." And I said, "Son, that's it." And, you know, what it means? It means you are always just another human being. All the people who work in students, everybody, have been on these meetings. So he's all cool about that. He thinks that's great. He meets people, right?
Yeah, my kid always asks me, are you related to them? Because I always mention somebody, I'm like, no.
So now the cool thing is like, now we go out, it's like, hey, you're Jim to sing on the podcast. And he's like, remember? And so one time we were in the car, and Eddie Trump shows on, and some fan called him. And I looked in the back. This was still within the seat. Right? Hey, talking about your radio. And I said, yeah, you know, see, pretty much right about it. He's like, about that. I'm like, son, I've been telling you for years. I'm in the band. I have records. I have to play around the world and tour. And it's cool. Right there. Like, I got it. So here, my name on the radio.
Nice.
And now he's cool now because on the new record, 5-6 years ago, he was playing on his computer, on a PlayStation, on something where you could make songs. Like, you hit these colored buttons and make songs. And he made this riff. And I'm like, what's the fuck is this? And they're like, and I'm like, let's do something else. And I'm like, put the recorder around here. I'm like, so the new album, I found it. And that is the opening riff to one of our new songs, is something we created. So he's got the new album. Pretty much everything by myself, I'm a one-man guy. He's gonna get, a 12, 13-year-old's gonna get writing albums or something. And I'll tell him that, and he goes, so you know, it was just, you know, right. Dude, you created it.
Now you're gonna get more. It's enjoy the scene.
Now you can continue to live for free in my house. Yeah, I'm actually getting right for it, but he's not. He likes. I think if I can get him into keyboard, because he likes soundtrack stuff.
Right.
He likes the video game music. So if you learn keyboards, you can do that. If you're not interested in guitars yet, that's fine. Everybody thinks, oh, he's got to be a virtuoso, right? I mean, I'm like, he even has his own Fender Strat.
Yeah, I got my son at SG.
Oh, okay. I don't even hold it.
Right.
But as soon as the girl thing comes into,
Yes.
you know, into play a little while, you're probably like, you should be able to play, Sweet Child of Mine. Hell no, I great song, but
Yeah, exactly. So,
but yeah.
yeah, because he's been playing the recorder. He's like, Dad, I won't get the ass of playing the recorder. I'm like, oh, my friend.
Yeah.
You know?
That shit next.
Oh my God, I'm like, you got more ass than a toilet. And I'm like, he's like, so what instrument do you want to play? Pick any instrument, I'll buy you an instrument.
Yeah.
And you can read music. So that's good.
Except the two.
Yeah. And I said, you want drum stuff will make me so happy.
Yeah.
You know, because Dan,
Right.
right? And he goes, nah, guitar? He's like, yeah. So my fiance makes, she's a costume designer for Broadway. So she made masks for Steve Lukather and we're there.
All right.
Tom said, what?
Yeah.
I mailed him out to him and everything. He goes, well, thank you so much for the mask. If there's anything we can do for you, let me know. Well, what the thing is, they give my son a guitar lesson.
There you
He's
go.
like, yes, just let me know when. And I'm like, could you also play guest on the metal song? He's like, sure. And he came on.
Very cool.
And then he's like, call my Gibson note. So I called his Gibson note. And they sent us an SG.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
All right. Good deal.
yeah. And he hasn't picked it up though. I'm like, really? Because he's all about the games, the PlayStation,
That's my son. Like that.
Xbox,
But
and anime.
let me tell you something. If you watch the hand-eye coordination, these kids,
Right.
like my son would probably fly a jet. I mean, when I'm watching him, he's like, and I'm like, what are you doing? It's like, I have to watch this colored arrow comes out here and it comes over here and I have to match it up. I'm like, let me try it. I'm like,
Game over.
the hand-eye coordination that you got there is like, you can be, you know, player or whatever. Just let him do what he wants when the time is right. He'll figure it out.
That's awesome, for sure. Angel, let's bring you back in, brother.
Besides the UK, because we know that with rock fans, they're all over the world. Expect once things open up, or you can say, hey, I'll do this besides the UK.
I would love to. As a matter of fact, we went and played Japan once, and it was phenomenal. I mean, the whole amazing culture, the fans, different places have a whole different way they react to it. And it was, I'll tell you a funny story. We played Tokyo, and it was a sold-out amphitheater, like 3,500 people. When we started playing, they all still they sat down inside. We played a song. Look, there were 3,500 people in there in like 10 minutes, single file, sold out merch in like 30 minutes, and they all sat and they're polite.
And they just sit there, right?
Finish the song, and they go crazy in the song. And then you go that, and it was so nice. So after the show, I was like, this is the crew had the stage completely wiped off clean in like an hour. I was like, wow, they're like worker bees, right? So we go to it was Hard Rock Cafe or something after they have a dinner thing, and they're like, yeah, we'll go sign some autographs. So the label takes us in, and we walk in the door, and there's about 100 Japanese girls in the corner, and they start freaking out. Like, I turned around, and I thought Elvis would come back in the day. And I was like, what's going on? What's happening? Are they okay? And like, yeah, they're fans. What's the problem? You know? I'm like, yeah, I understand fans, but I think a couple of them had renovated in front of me. So they took us up to this table. We spent 3 hours in between food, and they let us do one at a time. And this one poor girl came up, and she was crying tears, and I thought she was going to have a stroke. And I just said, hey, hold on. I grabbed her hand, and I held her, are you okay? And she went,
Down like Frazier.
but it was so honorable. Like,
Steve plays with the death touch.
I know, like I killed her.
I can see that on the headline now. And
Locked up in Tokyo.
Wow, now.
He plays, still fan in Tokyo.
But they would show up at the hotel and bring us beautiful gifts, tapestries, and it was just such a respect.
Right.
You know? And you go to Europe, and it's the same kind of respect. It's more like, yo, and hug you, sweaty, gathering vests.
But it's guys.
But it's amazing, you know?
It's the best of them, like Poison and Venom on the same. I was like, they're black.
But back to the original question, I love that, man. I love when people in CNI, you've been able to, when you can touch somebody's life. We have a lot of ballads that people have played at funerals, and I've played funerals and played songs. It's not easy. But when you realize how at those junctures in some people's lives, whether it's a wedding, a funeral, or a bar mitzvah, or a graduation, and somebody's telling you that your song saved their life. Captain from Purpose, they tell you the stories. You start realizing that you're not like some artists will say, I don't have a responsibility. You have a responsibility to make people see the light in some little tiny way. And everybody's got a way to do it. So I take that really seriously. So, you know, when you meet these people and they tell you about this song, especially like the day I met you was See You Someday. Oh my God, people like, I love this. Play that at Dad's funeral. Play this at this week's funeral. And then Neil Lee Painter, a friend of mine that died of cancer. And it's like you hear, you know about that, and how they relate to the sort of how you had or the boy that died. You know, my son had this disease. And you start feeling like, it's really not just, this isn't like, cocaine. This isn't, for me in my path, it's deeper than that. It's a different way to help you move.
Sure. So that's actually kind of a cool little segue. We'll go around the table one more time and really put your feet up for a bit. You had mentioned kind of briefly off the air just about, you know, paying attention to like, you know, the various other bands in, you know, in your career that are also doing stuff like you and seeing not only like your mates that you definitely know, but also just the guys and the girls that you know from paying attention to other bands and what they're doing and stuff like that. And you just kind of mentioned a little bit about your health, so I thought I would just kind of ask if you down to just kind of elaborate on that kind of in the style of like, you know, what advice can you give to like like young musicians or young people just in general, like you've always put out a very healthy aura of taking care of yourself personally, assuming that I'm correct. Can you elaborate a bit on advice for youth?
I think first of all, in everybody's life, you know, people are like, oh, I'm a musician, this and that, and that. So what? I'm a musician, you're a carpenter, you're a doctor, you're a plumber, everybody's path is equally as important. And I'm just a huge advocate for finding the straight and narrow. There's lots of sideways curves and things that we have to go through to get there. I guess more than anything, I encourage people to just have their goals straight. You know, like I'm a born again Christian. God is the most important thing in my life. So He's my guy. You know, now I fall short constantly, but at the end of the day, I think about like how much I love my son, my daughter. Like my arm off to say pain, right? How much does God care about us when we're created? You know, it's kind of it's something that's hard to wrap your head around if you start thinking too mathematically about it. But if you just accept it, then that's been that's it. Look, if I had a famous quote of me, I'm smart enough to know that I'm not smart enough. We don't have any idea about people that try to figure out the reality of life and what are we here for? Well, we're this and we're that. You know. These brains we have are just so really tiny compared. So I accept that. I just do the best I can. I don't do drugs. I don't drink. I don't like it. I never did. That's one reason why I'm still able to do this. Because I have bandmates and friends and other men watching other of my associates that have hurt themselves physically and mentally in the past, and they're not around or they're having difficulties. Look, being healthy and like I said, I work out, I eat well, I kung fu, I stay active, I coach my son's team. I still have a lot of aches and pains. The older you get, the more things, the more experiences in life, the more pains you're gonna have because you have more things. You're getting hurt more, you're getting hit more, you're falling. The more time you spend with yourself, the more things can happen. So you've got to maintain. Young kids, don't quit school. Stay in school, get smart, learn your math. If you don't learn your math, you can't sign a contract.
All right, I gotta ask you real quick about math. What's up? I watched a YouTube video to learn the math today.
The math is different. I help my son with his homework.
Right.
Even though he knows it well, I tell him I want to check it out.
Right.
Double check your work every single time. And some of the math it's just presented differently than it was for us.
I'm just like,
yeah, it really is. But the basics of it, it's a different way that the teachers are presenting that.
right.
Not with stress that you get involved in your kids' homework.
Oh, I always do.
Some of the stuff.
My youngest son reads to me every night. We FaceTime.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, but the math, the skills, the speaking skills, communication skills, those are, not only skills out of the book skills and knowledge skills, but learning how to speak and deal with other people. Those kind of interpersonal skills are important too. Find the right guys to be in a band with. Find them to share. Cherish your songwriter. The songs are the most important thing in anything. You can have the break you. It's all about the songs. Find that unit. Keep your head together. Work hard, and just follow the straight path. That's what I would tell everybody.
Awesome.
Let me tell you something. Drinking and drugs, it's just terrible. It sucks. It's poison in your body. It's really not cool. It's funny how many people over the years will come up to me and offer me something. Not as much anymore because people pretty much know who I am and how I am, and that I don't do that. In the early days, man, you want to do this is nothing now to you. Oh man, that's really cool. You mean you don't do drugs, no. Man, that's really cool, man. If you think it's really cool, then what are you doing with it?
All right, so really cool. Look at me now. Imagine me on something.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Are you really?
I'm not like it's just the main thing is it's bad for your body. That's the most important.
Exactly.
And when you hurt yourself, look, if I did anything to hurt myself physically and mentally, all I think about is people around me that rely on me every day. I'd be letting them down.
Yeah, because my addiction is cheese.
Yeah, cheese.
Oh, yeah, like my blood pressure, we were talking about this 2 months ago, I went to the physician, this has been looking through this and everything.
Right.
He's like, all right, so what are we doing today? It's still 48. So he's like, okay. So he goes, so what do you like to eat? I'm like, cheese. He's like, how much do you eat? I'm like, how much do you eat, though? He's like, oh, a little bit a day. I'm like, okay, take your daily or monthly consumption, that's my daily consumption.
Oh my God.
He's like, really? I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right, blood work? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, cholesterol, blood sugar, everything. I'm like, yeah. And he goes, all right, he calls me about a week later. He's like, we need to talk. I'm like, what's the matter? He's like, cholesterol. What is it? He's like, 207. I'm like, what? I thought that was my weight.
So,
You know?
so what did you do to fix that?
Sure. So he gave me that.
You could just cut down on the cheese.
But no, but then I did put back in cheese.
Because you're like, were you kind of like, were you really listening to Steve Stone?
All right, here's a question for you.
Yeah.
What's your favorite cheese?
Pepper jack cheese.
Pepper jack's good.
Yeah, and then, or pimento. I love pimento. So
The spread?
yeah, pimento cheese, yeah, because I lived in Charleston, Virginia. So, all right. So I went from 207 a month and a half to 107.
What?
Like,
That's so good.
yeah,
See?
yeah. That, and I also
Should we
lost 20 pounds. Yeah.
Cheese?
From cheese and, yeah, because I ate it like it's candy.
Well, I put it like
that.
If you got a choice between cheese or crack, at least you're getting cheese.
Exactly, I tell everybody, I'm talking my life.
Cheese on crack.
I tell people, look, I don't get my kids, I don't get my children,
Right.
I pay my taxes,
Right, right.
cheese. I fucking love it. Just enjoy it.
It could be worse, dude.
Yeah, really good.
There's other foods that would be worse.
Oh, yeah, that, and then like ranch dressing and stuff like that, and. Yeah.
Steve's gonna go right down the catering.
Angel, let's give it over to you, bro.
Take away the drugs, they've got more time for sex and rock and roll.
There you go.
There you go.
True story that Steven Tyler said.
There you go. That makes sense.
I personally, many of your peers nowadays, they collaborate with a lot of people. Is there anybody that you would like to collaborate with, whether it's a song or a record?
I like collaborating with anybody. I mean, to be honest with you, I run into lots of people, man. Hey, we gotta do something. You know, like Jason Beaver from Saga Cake, he's a good friend of mine. I love him now, he's very talented. We're all like, we gotta do something here.
Love the stuff you did, just got so
Oh, he's amazing, he's great. So, but then you never see him, because, you know, you're being chips enough, they're, bro, you gotta do something. And you know, so it's like, I would love to do stuff with all these guys, but love to do something with obviously Warren May, Alice Cooper, you know, tour with Alice Cooper, he was fantastic. Alice was like, when I was a kid, that was one of that. My dad told me my first Alice Cooper concert, my dad was an Alice fan. He loved him, my dad passed away before we got the opportunity. We toured with Alice Cooper twice, so I would have been great if he'd been around to see that. But, you know, honestly, I have so much respect for all these, any musicians, even like bands and local bands that are out there trying, man. If your attitude's good, you're humble, and you're trying, you're working on it, you got all my respect. You know?
Like with your brother, what about that? You guys ever did?
We did we did a band called Near Life Experience,
Okay.
and we did 2 albums. He's on 1.5 of those records, and that was right before he got the Black Label gig. So we went to do that, and but he doesn't want to do anything. He actually, when we went to Tokyo, he sat in with it. He was our drummer, really. He did a few shows with him. So,
Did you try the bullet train?
was that?
Did you try the bullet train?
No, we didn't. We stayed in downtown Tokyo, and the culture is just amazing. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and we're in downtown Tokyo, and it's as busy as like midday
Right.
New York City traffic. It's crazy, man. But it was a great time. Really amazing fans. I want to go back.
Was the Black Label gig with Austin the other half of that second record? Did the schedule get crunched?
Well, no, what happened is we had, he went off to do that, but we had some tracks pre-recorded early. We got back and redid everything but the drums. And actually, the new label is releasing this 2-year life experience. Yeah, so
I look for them.
Oh, yeah,
Sure, absolutely. Well, Steve, man, we can't thank you enough for hanging out with us.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. But we're gonna let the fans want more. I'll hit you up and we'll do a full follow-up episode, especially when Moving to the Tune comes out.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
please.
fans, pay attention to Lillian Axe getting back out there, Moving to the Tune coming out later this year, and songs out yesterday. So make sure that you're showing some love. Fantastic set again at M3, and appreciate you so much. Now, Summoners, thank you. We'll be back on a little bit later for the next interview, so stay tuned. For Bobby Dreyer, for Psycho Steve, for Angel Alamo, and again, thank you to Steve Blaze and the Lillian Axe camp. We will see you guys in a little bit. As always, you've been watching Metal Summit.